Earl Bruce. And now, introducing the Hawkeyes of Iowa. At left tackle, number 72, Barry Tomasetti of Old Forge, Pennsylvania. At center, number 56, Jim Hilgenberg of Iowa City. At right guard, number 61, Doug Ben Scooter from Waverly, Iowa. At split end, number 88, Mike Brady from Canoga Park, California. At fullback, number 44, John Lazur, Tama, Iowa. At right tackle, 31, Joe Hufford of Mount Vernon. The left linebacker, number 85, Dean Moore of Akron, Ohio. At middle linebacker, number 47, Tom Rusk of Dubuque. The right linebacker, number 43, Mike Jackson of Harvey, Illinois. Cornerback, number 19, Rod Sears of Preston, Iowa. Free safety, number 9, Dave Becker. The cornerback, number 38, Roger Steck of Perry, Iowa. And the head coach at Iowa, Bob Cummings. Well, you don't think there's spirit here. This is just something, looking at both of these huddles surrounding their respective coaches, ready for the kickoff of this game, with the Iowa Hawkeyes winning the toss.
Interestingly enough, watching the Hawkeyes, they seem to display more emotion here just before the game. There appeared to be more of a calmness and confidence on the Iowa State side. It'll be interesting to see what happens early in the contest.
And I noticed yesterday, as we watched them loosen up here on the artificial turf at Kinnick Stadium, that they both squads were uptight.
Yes, I think so. There was a couple of mistakes made by the Hawkeyes, and they were reprimanded for it. It's going to be an emotional game, and you're going to see, I believe, early in the contest, some great defensive work.
The Iowa State kickoff man will be number 98, Scott Pedersen. He'll do the kicking. He will have the wind to his back, the wind at about 15 knots coming from right to left. Kinnick Stadium, named for the late Niles Kinnick, a member of the legendary 1939 Iowa Ironman team, a Heisman Trophy winner, a Phi Beta Kappa, and a great halfback. Every seat is taken. We hope you're comfortable wherever you are, and we'll enjoy this action. We look at Pedersen now, teeing it up on the 40-yard line. Jess Cook, number 28, is deep in single safety for the Hawkeyes. And again, repeating, Iowa in the black jerseys with gold numbers, gold helmets, and on the right, in their white jerseys with cardinal numerals, are the Cyclones from Ames, Iowa. So, when the ball is touched in the field of play, the clock will start, resuming a rivalry, and long overdue. Pedersen now moving to the ball. Jess Cook looking at it. He's at the 5. The clock starts. He comes out to the 5, now the 10, 15, 20. Finds a hole. Good field position. Bouncing out to about the 23, Earle.
Well, it was a good kick and a good start. The ball is at the 23-yard line. They've got a long way to go. Well, watch, I think particularly this Iowa State, to 2 tackles defensively and the middle linebacker.
There's the backfield. Bob Cummins, 10, 37 Sheeler, 44 Lazar, 28 Jess Cook, who just returned that kick about 18 yards. So the Hawkeyes in the black jerseys, first and 10 at their own 23. The center is Jim Hilgenberg, number 56. Listen to these fans. Hard for the players to hear the signals, I'm sure. Up goes Cook. So Cook now has carried the ball twice. He gained more yardage on the kickoff return. He picked up only 1 on that last play. So it's going to be a 2nd down and 9 for the Hawkeyes.
Tom Perticone did a great job. Number 33 coming up to support on that sweep.
Swift, Tomasetti, Mayer, Hilgenberg, Ben Scooter, Palladino, and Brady are the men up front. Brady, a great pass receiver, number 88, while Jim Swift is the tight end who occasionally is the target for the freshman 18-year-old Bob Cummins, only in his 2nd varsity game. 5 of 8 last week. He's 6'1", 195 pounds, 2nd and 9. And the stingy Iowa State defense allows John Lazar of Tama, Iowa, a yard or 2, perhaps across to the 26, where it'll be a 3rd down and 7 as Mark Settle, number 57, and Tom Bosky, number 96, make the stop. You're looking at the great defenders up front for the Iowa State defense: White, Stinsrud, McFarland, Randall, and Vulcan. Bosky is another of the great players.
Bosky is a co-captain. He's the first underclassman ever to be named as a co-captain at the Iowa State Cyclone team.
It's a 3rd down and 7 for the Hawkeyes. The opening series of downs here. The Big Ten versus the Big 8. And the Big Ten completes a pass, and it's a 1st down for Iowa. Mike Brady, number 88. An 11-yard gain, a beautiful pass, and a great catch. Pulling it down, Brady.
That's got to be a real confidence builder for Bob Cummings, coming into this ball game and throwing his first pass and being right on target for a completion, picking up a very important 1st down.
It was a 10-yard pass, 1st and 10 at the 36 now of Iowa. Number 80, Doug Dunham, is to the left. He has replaced Mike Brady, giving him a breather. And coming wide now, number 37, Ernie Sheeler. Good pursuit by the Iowa State defense. Tom Perticone, a junior from Clairton, Iowa. The rover back forced him out of bounds, and let's see where the departure was. It's at the 37, a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9.
It's 2 good plays by Perticone here in the early series.
Linebackers, Bosky, 96-57 settle for the Cyclones. The defensive backfield, which Coach Earl Bruce thought could be a little stronger, includes Perticone. All right, Mike Brady is back in the lineup. 2nd and 9, split to the far side of the field. A double wing formation by the Hawkeye. Cook in motion. A double reverse. And a double reverse by Ernie Sheeler. Paid off, Earle.
Little crisscross back in the inside. If he makes one more man miss, he has an awful lot of yardage to get there. Wow, it looked like it could have gone all the way.
Beautiful play, a little razzle-dazzle. All the excitement of college football in this overcast autumn afternoon. The temperature 70 degrees. All right. They're about a yard and a half short of a 1st down with a 3rd down. So this is that big play for the Hawkeyes early in the game. The last time they had a 3rd and 7, they went to the air and completed one for 10 yards. Let's see what the freshman Cummings will do now.
Don't think he made it, Chris.
It doesn't appear. The ball was not near the forward stake, which was out beyond the 41. As we remind you, Rick White, defensively fine for Iowa State on Ernie Sheeler. This program is being brought to you as a special exclusive of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
This is KMSP-TV, Minneapolis and St. Paul, your News 9 station, 67
Dave
degrees.
Holtzclaw, who has to do the field goal kicking today if the opportunity arises, will punt now. Oh, it falls off the side of his foot. It wasn't what he wanted. Dave Holtzclaw, Clinton, Iowa, a sophomore, kicks it only 23 yards. Rick White put the rush on the punter.
Chris, still.
Hawkeyes, who went 23 yards, no score in the game, 4 minutes elapsed. We have Terry Rubley, the quarterback, handing off, pounding for a yard or two, the fullback, Cal Cummins of Freeport, Iowa. Tom Rusk, number 47, whom we talked about earlier, one of the fine defenders for the Hawkeyes, made the stop, Earle.
He's really a great one. Both Coach Cummings and the rest of the staff couldn't say enough good things about him, and he's right off to a great start on the first play.
He gained 2 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8. The backfield, 28 Solomon, 32 Cummins. Green, number 24, watch him. And Rubley, Terry Rubley, the sophomore, number 11 from Davenport, Iowa. 2nd and 8, no score in the game. About 10.5 minutes remain in the first quarter. And Dexter Green, their premier runner, the junior from Woodbridge, Virginia, comes out to about the 33. Or make a correction, out to the 38, a gain of 3, 3rd and 5.
Basically, Iowa State operates out of the I formation with Dexter Green getting the ball a great portion of the time, and the run action passes that come off of it. We'll see here. This is a good situation. See whether they'll put the ball up in the air. They've got the wind with them.
The men up front, you just saw them. Preston, Cavalier, Bain, Engel, Cunningham, Stonebrook, and Hickson. Now 3rd and 5. The first test of sophomore quarterback Terry Rubley as he sends Solomon in motion to the far side. Here's the first pass. Stan Hickson made a great try for it. Incompletion, punting situation, covering defensively for Iowa. Roger Steck. And now one of the best punters in the nation, Rick Blabalil, who averaged 46.1 yards last week, 5th in the nation, coming into the game from Chesterfield, Missouri, has the wind to his back era.
Yeah, you bet. This ought to fly.
Dave Becker, 9, and 88, Mike Brady are deep. A high pass, he gets it off nonetheless. End over end, hard to field. It's Mike Brady. And Mike Brady has hit it inside the 25. It was a 41-yard punt. Didn't get the altitude that Blabalil wanted.
Right, he didn't get it up in the air, and it didn't look like that long a punt, but still he got 41 yards out of it.
All right, number 10, the freshman quarterback, the coach's son. And commenting on his 2 touchdown passes in victory last week, Coach Bob Cummings said the boy has paternal genius. All right, now from the 24. No score in the game, 9:23 to go, first quarter. Iowa, second time they've had the ball. Double wing. Sheeler blocking. Lazar era.
I'll tell you, it's a play. As a matter of fact, the attack that Iowa is using is the same attack we used at Notre Dame, and we used the fullback an awful lot. You fake the trap to the inside, and the fullback slips out into the flat, and you wind up with an open receiver, and Cummings is now 2 for 2.
All right, second down and 2 coming up for the Hawkeyes from their own 32 and a half. A multiple offense. You'll see a little of everything. Right now, the double wing split into the far side is Doug Dunham, number 80.
Well, the Iowa lineman moved, I think, first. I think it'll go against Iowa.
Drawing them offside. There it is. That familiar signal. So with a procedure call, it goes against the Hawkeyes. Tacks on 5 yards. The down remains the same. It'll be second down and 7. But this time, the ball at the 27 and a half. No score, 9:19 to go, first quarter. 88 for the far side, Mike Brady, a California product. Cummins, number 10, the quarterback. Sheeler in motion. Lazar carried, and look at the crowd he drew. Those interior linemen, the Iowa State defenders, led by 61 Ron Mclaughlin, 64 Tom Randall. They are tough.
Boy, they are. Lazar tried to read that back against the grain and the action back to his left, but no way. There's all kinds of defenders there.
No gain on the play as Coach Bob Cummings is alternating ends, sending in the plays to the 18-year-old freshman era.
Well, I think that's the way to do it. What did he say yesterday on the sideline? He wasn't going to trust an 18-year-old with his paycheck.
All right, 3rd and 7. They've converted on 1 of 2. The Hawkeyes, no score. A beautiful defensive play on Jesse Cook by number 52, Craig Balkins. Great defensive play, and it brings up a 4th down, a loss on the play, back to around the 20. Not quite a loss of 7, so it'll be 4th and 13.
You wonder why coaches, always criticize their players. I did certainly on penalties. That 5-yard penalty changed the whole complexion of that series.
Tom Buck and Mike Schwartz are deep, awaiting Holt's claw kick. It's a fair catch call for, and now great field position as Mike Schwartz of Iowa State fields it at the Iowa Hawkeye 48. The punt with helps. Guy Preston of Ferguson, Missouri, covered by Roger Steck at 5'11", pulls it in, and it's a big gain. The best of the game for the Cyclones of Ames.
Jerry Rubley threw it in there very nicely. He had to drop it over that linebacker, and that was a very fine throw and a good reception.
A 20-yard gain.
Got motion on it. Called back.
And here again, those taxing penalties. We got an illegal motion.
We saw the effect of the penalty on Iowa that after they had made 8 yards, and here it is. Just look at the difference. A 20-yard gain is now neutralized completely, and an additional 5 yards is tacked on. And now they have second down and about 15.
Second down and 16 coming up. Solomon, 28, is in at split back. Number 28. The quarterback is Rubley, number 11. Cummins, 32. Now Hardy comes back in, replacing Solomon. Dexter Green is number 24. As we look at the sideline and sending in number 20, Coach Bob Cummings, his defender, Cedric Shaw of Newark, New Jersey. 2nd and 16. And the Iowa Hawkeye defense keeps Iowa State in their own territory as a result of the penalty and good defensive play. Dexter Green carrying from his own 46 up to his own 49. It'll be a 3rd and 13. No score, 6:54 remaining in the first quarter. You see Green is 5'9", 162 pounds. But he can pick him up and lay him down, I'll tell you.
I didn't realize he was that small. He doesn't look that small, does he?
What should we call it? Program weights?
You got a little unbalanced line here.
Yes, we
Look at
do.
the overload to the left.
That's Solomon in motion to the near side. 3rd and 13. And a beautiful defensive play by Rod Sears, who was tied for the lead in interceptions in the Big Ten last year, number 19.
Well, we saw him at the top of the show on an interception, and he doggone near got one there. That was good coverage.
So now coming in to punt for the 2nd time on 4th and 13 will be Rick Blabalil, who averaged 46-1 last week. Last year, 42.8. Last week he kicked a 63-yarder. Becker and Brady are deep, the B-boys. That's Becker faking a fair catch, going through the end zone, will come out to the 20, and the Hawkeyes in the black jerseys will have the ball. 60,000 fans. The Hawkeyes, the home team, have the ball for the 3rd time following an Iowa State punt. 1st and 10 at their own 20, a touchback, and Hilgenberg is over the ball, and freshman quarterback Bob Cummings calling signals. Lazar behind him, the lone setback, the double wings now in motion. Dennis Mosley nearly got away, number 18. Rick White, number 92, defensively for the Iowa State Cyclone defense. There is a loss on the play. Back to the 17, 2nd and 13 era.
Could have been a bigger loss. Mike Stensrud came right straight through. No one blocked him. And could have had an additional loss there on the play.
Wide World, of course, coming up later this afternoon. We'll have diving on. Oh, there'll be several segments which will tell you about the Frontier Days from Cheyenne, Wyoming, as the Roberto Duran lightweight championship bout was canceled, unfortunately. And slipping inside the 10, Jesse Cook on a 2nd and 13. And this is a further loss for Iowa.
Keith, I think that from up here, it looked like that ball was thrown laterally. Kind of a dangerous play to be throwing back in you're deep in your own territory. Had that ball not been caught, it would have been a free ball. At least it appeared to be thrown backwards rather than forwards.
Loss of 8, 3rd down and 21. No score. Bob Cummings Jr. is 3 of 3 for 10 yards passing. Boy, he needs some aerial yardage right now. He's at his own 9. They'd have to kick into the wind. Cummings.
Option going. He's got leverage.
Not enough for the 1st down, but nevertheless, a little bit more upfield where perhaps they can get a fairly decent punt to Iowa State.
Very helpful to them. They were really backed up deep in their own territory. It was a good option play executed by Cummings, and they're out to the 20-yard line. At least they're kicking into the wind with a little better field position than it would have been clear back in his own end zone.
Mosley brought it out to his own 20. 4th and 10 is Dave Holtzclaw. Punting again with 4:11 remaining in the first quarter.
It's a better
Beautiful.
one there.
Into the wind, mind you. That is Tom Buck.
Oh, look
Tom
out.
Buck
Look
gets
out.
blocking. Look out.
He's gone.
There he is. Gone.
Well, you could see that coming.
Tom Buck of Cayuga Falls, Ohio. He is a sophomore. Look at the happiness on the part of the Cyclone from Ohio. 6-0. Iowa State leads. Following a beautiful punt, Era.
Boy, you could see that coming from up here. You could see if he cracked one man there, he had the whole wall set up. Beautifully executed punt return on the part of the Iowa State team.
He caught it in his own territory, about It looked like it was about 60 yards. I missed the actual spot from where he caught the ball. But the kick came from the 20. Boy, oh boy.
Good kick into the wind, and yet look at the result. Here we go with a barefooted kicker.
Right. Barefooted, left-footed, side wheeler. Scott Coleman of Iowa State, and the Cyclones, with 3:52 remaining in the first quarter, have a 7-0 lead here in Iowa City, Iowa. Tom Buck getting the first score. We're going to see a replay of it. Let's watch where he fielded the ball.
Here's a replay here. You can just see he's gone by this time. He negotiated one man, and there's the first score of the ball game on a punt return after a great kick.
Okay, and with the point after. Okay. Let's see it one more time.
All right, here it is. We get a little better view of it this time. There's a great block there by number 34 with a screen out, and you could see, even from upstairs here, that if he cracked the seam, that he was gone.
Now we got it zeroed in, 63 yards. So Scott Pedersen, as he opened the game, will kick off to the Iowa Hawkeyes. You just joined us, 3:52, first quarter. Following a punt, a beauty, by Holtzclaw of Iowa. Tom Buck with 63 yards to score. Coleman with the point after. It's 7-0.
One of those things that was rather dramatic, because it looked like they were jockeying for field position, being a little conservative, and all of a sudden they explode with a punt return. And of course, it goes back to that kicking game again. The outcome can be determined by the kicking game, the punt returns, the kickoff returns. All those are very vital and important part of the game.
I know a lot of viewers will be disappointed that the Duran lightweight championship bout has been canceled, but take heart, because on Wide World of Sports today, the Cheyenne Rodeo, the Italian Grand Prix, the women's AAU platform diving, and some of the greatest fights ever. That's on Wide World today. Taking the ball, Jesse Cook at the 5, 10, 15, falling forward to the 23, and the Hawkeyes will try to move it from there. And on the Italian Grand Prix race, what it really is a feature on American driver who's done so well in Formula Racing, Grand Prix Racing, Mario Andretti. That's today on Wide World. 3:47 to go, first quarter. Iowa State leads a 63-yard punt return by Tom Buck for the score. So the Hawkeyes now really have to come back, led by their freshman quarterback, Bob Cummings, Jr. from his own 23. Head of number 15, Jim Arkelpane from Williamsville, New York, a 6-footer that needed to be about 7 feet to pull that one in.
Right, he was open.
Yes.
Bob Cummings just overthrew him just a tad there.
All right, there's his dad, Coach Bob Cummings, a graduate of Iowa. He was a guard on the Iowa football team when they were Big Ten and Rose Bowl champions in 1956.
Imagine he weighed 173 pounds in those days. He couldn't play today.
Here's his son, 18, weighs 195, number 10. Handing off quickly to Mosley. Mosley, he's got a block. Now he cuts back. He may make it. Mosley.
He's gone.
77-yard touchdown by Dennis Mosley. Plays, Era, as we're going to have a replay.
There's just a sweep. He cuts it back to the inside. There are a lot of Iowa State players to the outside. Puts a good move on here. I didn't expect this kind of open field play or long runs from either one of the two teams, and here just in the last minute and a half we've had two.
Wait, no, and on the clock, we've had 2 scores in 38 seconds, Era. Isn't that beautiful? On a 2nd down and 10, there he is, the sophomore, native of Youngstown, Ohio, the number 2 tailback in fall practice, a liberal arts major. He was born in Birmingham, Alabama, but the fans in Iowa City, Iowa are happy.
Matter of fact, yesterday, during the practice session, Bob Cummings, the coach, had to stop practice and reprimand, I believe, Mosley just momentarily, and he responded well today.
And unfortunately for Iowa, Dave Holtzclaw failed on the extra point. So the Cyclones lead by 1, 7-6, 3-14 years. And if you just joined us, you missed a 63-yard punt return touchdown by Tom Buck of Iowa State. And let's see, 38 seconds later, Mosley went 77 yards, as now we have Holtzclaw, who missed the point after kicking off to the Cyclones. Tom Buck and Schwartz are deep. Getting the ball, losing his footing, and brought down around the 15, and the Hawkeyes are fired up. But was the play blown dead before the ball squirted loose? I would assume so.
Yeah, his knee hit on the ground, and of course the ball was dead right at that point. The field must be a little bit slippery from the way a couple of the Iowa State players have fallen in attempting to cut. Certainly didn't hurt Mosley when he turned that corner.
Arrow, this is a heck of a game. The Big 8 versus the Big 10. You say that college football isn't exciting. Friends, join us every Saturday here on ABC, and we'll convince you otherwise.
Now Iowa's got Iowa State backed up deep in their own territory.
At their own 11, Terry Ruble of Davenport is the quarterback. He's a sophomore replacing injured Mike Tryon. Tapping his fanny was Solomon. And look at that defense of the Hawkeyes in on Dexter Green. Green, who is minus yardage today. He's their star. Wow.
Chris, the Iowa State team that time came to an unbalanced line trying to get some running room. I was very much impressed with Iowa's adjustment to it. They didn't panic at all. They just moved right over, and they were right at the point of attack.
And now the Hawkeyes have taken one of their 3 timeouts here in the first half, with Iowa State leading by a score of 7-6. There are the Iowa State cheerleaders in their cardinal and gold colors. 7,800 of them were lucky enough to get tickets. 5,000 of the student tickets were drawn for, starting at 7 p.m. last Sunday, going till 2 a.m.
Dexter, I think, only has 5 yards and 4 carries. And look at his record, 208 rushes a year ago with 1,074 yards.
And last week he got 85 yards and 16 carries. He caught a pass for 27. He even threw one. So he has that triple threat. You don't see a triple threat back too often, but he can do it.
And in 2 minutes and 51 seconds, this team will lose their wind advantage. I'm talking about Iowa State. And Iowa's managed to score into the wind, which is a pretty significant accomplishment considering the breeze out there.
Now, as they reestablish this rivalry, our suggestion area is for them to get a trophy for this game now that they're going to play 6 more years. I can't think of a title for one.
I'll let you design it.
All right, 2nd and 10 now for Iowa State, leading by 1. Closing moments of the first quarter. Ruble, the quarterback, giving to Green. Down under was Joe Willis, 6'3", 266 from Linden, New Jersey. Number 67, a junior in the black jersey. So there's an advance of 4 yards, though, by the terrific Dexter Green. It'll be a 3rd down and 6. Iowa State looking to make their first 3rd down conversion. They've had 2 chances. Here's another, 3rd and 6 from the 15.
I wonder if they'll put it up in the air here deep in their own territory.
Solomon, a speedster. The split back, 28, is to the near side of the field. The ends are in tight. The I formation behind Ruble, the quarterback.
Fumble.
Fumble. The Hawkeyes recover a Ruble fumble. Joe Willis covered the ball. He's the man that made the tackle. Cutting Ruble down was Joe Hufford, number 31, as we look again.
Oh, was that Hubert or Hubert there? I couldn't see who caused that fumble, but somebody tagged him pretty good there.
It was a boy named Hufford.
Hufford.
Yes. So, field position terrific for the Hawkeyes at the 19, first and 10, trailing by 1 point, 2:02. That's minutes remaining in the first quarter. Double wing split into the far side. Mike Brady is number 88. Coming in motion is Mosley. And carrying the ball is Lazar, number 44, the fullback, to inside the 10. Mark Settle, 57. of Nevada, Iowa, and Mike Schwartz, 26, the safety, made the stop at the 10.
Well, that was well blocked. Lazar read it well. He centered Jim Hilgenberg, and Hilgenberg's name has been many, many years around the Iowa family. Made a great block in there, and Lazar read it and picked up great yardage.
I have a feeling that his uncle Wally of the Vikings is probably watching today.
There's many of them that have been here.
All right, 2nd and 1 now from the 10. Mike Brady is left. I formation. Lazar, touchdown, and Iowa lead. A great block by Mike Mayer, number 60, the offensive left guard. And Lazar goes in for the Hawkeyes.
They went 19 yards in 2 plays. Look at the good blocking on the inside. Lazar is a good back. He can really read daylight.
Mosley and Lazar now have scored for Iowa. Mosley on a 77-yard run for the Iowa State Cyclones. Tom Buck took a punt 63 yards for the first score of this game. We anticipated a thriller, as now time has been called by the Iowa Hawkeyes.
You know, Lazar last year carried 95 times for 404 yards, so he's not too bad.
Will they go for 2?
I think they probably will.
Recall on the first touchdown, Dave Holtzclaw failed as his extra point kick was wide to the right of the uprights. So we'll see what they do now as Tom Wren, number 22 of Lowell, Iowa. There's Herkey, the Hawkeye. Wren has come in, probably bringing the message from Bob Cummings, the coach.
Well, that was Iowa State has been a great defensive team, and the way Iowa took that ball in from the 19-yard line on 2 straight plays is rather remarkable.
College football 1977 tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern and Pacific, 11:30 Central. Tomorrow you'll see highlights of these key NCAA games. Houston, Penn State, Notre Dame, Mississippi, Maryland, West Virginia, Iowa State, Iowa, Yale, Brown, Georgia, Clemson. Bill Fleming is the host, so join him. All right, now, going for 2 on the point after the second Iowa touchdown from a T formation. Cummings. And they fail. A fine defensive play by Tom Bosky, who has his own fan club. And to become a member, you got to pay $1, and you get an autographed picture and all sorts of goodies like that.
Well, he justified it in that play. They had it pretty well covered, too. Here's a replay from the end zone. It's a run-action pass with Cummings rolling out. The end was covered, and he elected not to throw it. As he gets a little bit more experience, you'll find that he would have been better off on a 2-point play because an interception doesn't mean anything. He'll learn that he go ahead and throw the ball.
Incidentally, Earle, to keep Tom Bosky out of trouble, I should point out that that money does not go to Tom. It goes to charity. Okay?
All right.
All right. Failing on the first extra point, following a Mosley touchdown. They failed on the 2-point try as Ray Hardee of Iowa State is at the far side deep. And Tom Buck, who scored the first touchdown, is on the near side. There he is at the right of your screen alongside the referee, Gene Calhoun, who today is assisted by Gasper Perricone of Lakewood, Colorado, Robert Dagenhart, an Ohio equipment broker, Sam Mathis of Boulder, Otto Pulls of Wisconsin, and Alabama Glass of Colorado, the officials of this interconference battle, with the Big Ten leading at this point 12-7. Iowa kicking to the Cyclones of the Big 8. Ray Hardee, 10, 15, 20. Puts his head down. Oh, he took a jolt.
There was some contact on that play.
Wow. So, from about the 25, Iowa State that led 7-6, as they were stunned by a go-ahead touchdown by the Iowa Hawkeyes, now have to play catch-up. But we have 1 minute and 10 remaining in the first quarter. Slot formation to the near side, the eye in the backfield. From the 25, John Quinn is the quarterback. Quinn from Des Moines, Iowa. 6-footer, a freshman. And making the tackle was Shanty Burks, number 49. There you get a look at Quinn. Quinn is 6 feet tall, 170 pounds, and like Bob Cummings of Iowa, is a freshman and learning about pressure right now.
No, I think on that play, there was no intent to throw the ball whatsoever. I think Quinn had been instructed just to roll out, run the ball, and see if he could pick up some yardage on a sweep.
And now Tom Buck, who scored the Iowa State touchdown, is in the lineup. 25. Quinn, beautiful run by Quinn. And he gets the first down on the ground. A 14-yard gainer with 25 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Iowa 12, Iowa State 7.
Option play was the intent there, and the end came straight up the field. So Quinn just kept the ball and turned inside and showed us he's got some speed.
That was the initial first down by Iowa State in this ball game. An earned first down. Dexter Green carrying on the play from the 40 up to about the 44. Time running out as you see here in the first quarter. Darrell Hobbs, 92 of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where we've been staying for the last 2 days, made the stop. So it's 12-7. The first quarter has ended. Let's take a pause. State moving this time left to right. The beginning of the second quarter. Quinn throws out in the flat. Taking his eyes off the ball was Ray Hardy of Mulberry, Florida. And isn't she lovely? Wow. That's it.
Well, there you are with the yards rushing, of course, as a result of Mosley's 77-yard run. Iowa has 108 yards rushing to Iowa State's 31. The yards passing, of course, there's not much yardage there, but it's a surprising thing that Iowa has gained 118 yards in the first quarter against a real solid defensive football team.
Last week against Northwestern, they gained 214 rushing. Iowa State with the ball. There's Dexter Green. And boy, are they keying on Dexter. Look at the black shirts that are over in that area.
Well, when he gets that ball, they've got 11 of them chasing him.
Rod Sears, number 19, coming up from the cornerback position to help on the play. 3 touchdowns in Iowa State's opening 35-9 win over Wichita State.
And thus far, he's been bottled up with, I think he's carried the ball 7 times and has about 15 yards.
4th and 5, and Rick Glabalil, a fine punter, kicking into the wind now here in the early moments of the second quarter. Back deep, Becker and Brady for Iowa. Iowa leading 12-7. A fair catch called for, a very good idea by Mike Brady, number 88. Right near the 20 of the Hawkeyes.
Not too bad a kick into the wind, 35 yards, Chris. And they've got to go 80 yards. And you can get your opponent to go the hard way, which is at 80 yards. Why, that's what you attempt to do defensively.
So now the Hawkeyes have the ball for the 6th time. It's a lot of times of possession. Getting it once by a fumble recovery from their own 20. Bob Cummings Jr. has it. And Jesse Cook showing his speed, and he's upset that he didn't go farther. Mark Settle denied him extra yardage. Out to the 27. A good 7-yard gain. 2nd down and 3.
Well-executed option play. You see, he fakes the ball to Lazar, comes out down the line. Look at that pitch out with his left hand. This is just a freshman.
And it looked to me like Jim Hilgenberg, the center, did through a tremendous block a little bit upfield to help make it possible. 2nd and 3 now from the 27. Iowa with the ball. Dunham to the near side of the field. The split back is number 37, Sheeler. Sheeler has it. Sheeler loses the ball, but it is recovered inbounds. Iowa State may have gotten it. They did.
Oh, they did.
An alert player grabbed it before, had possession before he slid out of bounds.
That was on the far side of the field, and I couldn't see very well whether or not he had possession. Let's take a look at it in replay here after the fumble.
Kevin Hart.
There it is. The ball rolls out. Looks like he had possession of the ball.
Number 96, their hero, Tom Bosky. The boy from the south side of Chicago who has as an idol the great Illinois All-American Dick Butkus. So now, from the 27, 1st and 10 for Iowa State. Quinn throwing. Beautiful catch by Stan Hickson at about the 15 era of Iowa.
Well, watching up here, you've got to realize that these are two freshman quarterbacks operating these two teams, and they look like seasoned pros. He rolled out of here and just delivered the ball right on target. Look at this. Good catch in here by Stan Hickson.
49, Shandy Burks forced him out of bounds. So it's a 1st and 10 at the 15. Iowa State in the white shirts. There goes Dexter Green. Cummings blocking for him. Dave Becker coming up alertly to help on the tackle.
Dexter Green is having a tough afternoon.
Over there also number 85. That's Dean Moore. He is a tremendous player, along with Tom Rusk, number 47.
Comes Hickson back in again. We may see a repeat of that last pass completion.
Loss of a yard. It's now 2nd down and 11. Hickson in a short split to the left. Solomon in the slot, now in motion toward us. 2nd and 11. Quinn, and here is Green on that option. Oh.
That was a quarterback pass.
How do you like that?
They thought they would catch him in man-to-man coverage, and nobody is covering the quarterback. And fortunately for Iowa, they were more on a free safety type of defense. Now, what I'm saying is that every man is covered man for man in anticipation of a pass, and nobody is on the quarterback. As a matter of fact, Alabama threw that same pass against us for a touchdown in the Sugar Bowl in 1973.
I was just going to say, the last time I saw it. And prior to that, Doak Walker hit Bobby Lane. So I've seen it 3 times now. And Quinn is smothered at the 26. That was a 3rd and 11 play. Jim Molini of Norfolk, Nebraska, along with Levin Weiss of Detroit, number 42, make the stop. At the 25, a loss of 9, 4th down and 20. Field goal range, perhaps.
That's the best pass defense in the world. Good heavy pass rush. And, of course, negative yardage, and he's got to have a longer kick here.
The senior, Scott Coleman, failed on his only try last week, but last year hit on 11 of 17. A 42-yard kick into the wind. Side wheeling it up. It's on its way. It's good.
Just barely made it, it looks like.
That is a Herculean kick, let me tell you. Barefooted, side wheel, left-footed.
Into the wind.
42 yards. So it's 12. And the most recent is a 42-yard field goal by Scott Coleman of Iowa State, bringing them now within 2 points of Iowa. With 11:33 remaining in the first half, it's Iowa 12, Iowa State 10. So now, other scores now up on the field as Scott Cole moves to the football. Oh, no, it was Scott Pedersen. And bringing the ball down, number 21, Dennis Martin for the Hawkeyes, and good kick coverage by the Cyclones, stopping it at the 23.
And that was no place for anybody timid, I'll tell you that. There's Washington State leading Michigan State in the second quarter, 3-0. That's anyone's game yet.
All right, the freshman quarterback, Bob Cummings Jr., has come into the Iowa huddle. Following this game, the Prudential College scoreboard, bringing you up to date on all the games around the country. All right, now from the 23, the freshman who started the game and who has engineered a good, varied attack. Hands off to Lazar, the fullback, and Lazar, he is a very impressive runner, Earle.
He really is. He's made a lot of yardage. And the thing, looks like he's got an ankle, maybe. It's coming out of there.
We'll try to get a report for you, and Arkle Payne will come in, number 15 from Williamsville, New York. He's a junior, 6-footer, 204 pounds. And let's call that gain 7 yards up to near the 30s, where it'll be 2nd down and 3. Iowa with the ball, leading by 2 points, 12-10. 10 minutes, 51 seconds remaining in the first half. Jesse Cook coming from the far side, upended near the line of scrimmage, no gain, and will bring up a 3rd and 3.
Boy, he's a dangerous runner, that Cook. He comes around the corner. Oh, here's the injury. Let's see.
Looks like he's in pain. John Lazar.
Looks like he's got his ankle, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this would be a great loss to the Iowa Hawkeyes.
And his teammates without him did gain a yard on the play. It'll be a 3rd down and 2. Brady comes out of the lineup. Dunham, number 80, is in. Bob Cummings Jr. and the Hawkeyes have converted on 1 of 6. Mosley, number 18, is in the lineup. 3rd and 2.
You got it.
Markle Payne, Lazar's sub, carried the ball. Craig Volkins on the first hit for the men in white from Iowa State.
Maybe not. It's going to be close.
The look to the far sideline. All right. Head linesman Robert Dagenhart from Ohio brings the crew in. Here's the important measurement for Hawkeye fans.
My God, it looks like he might not have made it.
Missed it by half the length of a football.
Oh, it looked like he had made that. Good reaction by the Iowa State defense.
And they're taking off the tape era.
Looks like an ankle, Chris. The way he limped off the field there. You get an ankle with the way he limped. I don't know whether he'll be back. Boy, looks like he's in pain.
Yes. He's from Tama, Iowa. #1 rusher last year. Got 65 yards last week. 5.4 average.
They're going for it here. Look at here.
Look at a straight T, the old powerhouse formation. Boy, is that going to be close. 2 officials looking at it right up at the line. Arkle Payne trying to get it from a straight T formation. A penalty marker down.
Nick, it's going against the Hawkeyes, too.
Yeah, Arkle Payne was the player that the official was talking to. He was the ball carrier. But they're calling for a measurement.
Oh, sure, because if they don't make it, they'll just take the ball. I think they made it. That's kind of a surprise. Bob Cummings going for it here at 32 or 33-yard line.
They made the first down, but watch this signal coming up.
All right, they'll take the penalty now. But can you imagine if it hadn't been a first down, they'd have taken over there at about the 32.5-yard line.
Right. These college officials do a heads-up job. And it is a tough job as we look at the stats thus far. Offense.
Iowa State, 27.
It's an education for young Bob Cummings, right?
He's made good decisions thus far. It looked like for a moment that he wanted to throw that ball out to the trailing halfback with people hanging around his neck. Was it extended right on him?
Yes.
And could have been a costly error, but he hung right onto the ball.
Now it's 2nd down and 28 from their own 14. Dunham, the split end to the near side of the field. Double wing formation. Cummings. A beautiful catch by Arkle Payne, bringing it out to the 21. A 7-yard gain.
They used this same pass last week against Northwestern with great success. The fullback sort of delays. There's a double receiver out wide to the left. And the fullback sort of delays, seems 15 Arkle Payne, and then he slips right in on a little delay pattern, and he picks up some yardage.
Arkle Payne, the sub for the injured fullback, John Lazar, the starter, who apparently injured his left ankle. Now for Iowa. In the lineup comes Steve Wiedemann, number 89, as Rick White was shaken up on the last play. 3rd and 22. Iowa leading 12-10. Everybody covered. Cummings hung on to the ball, and Ron Mclaughlin tagged him for a loss inside the 20. So it'll be a punting situation now with the wind to his back. Enter Dave Holdsclaw.
I tell you, being the coach's son is not too bad. I guess he's learned something from his papa, because he held onto that ball again, took the loss rather than put the ball up in the air for an interception. They'll have a chance to punt downwind.
4th down and 23. The snap from the 19. Keeps it low. Looking at it is Tom Buck. who returned one 63 yards earlier for a touchdown, the opening score. This time he gets near midfield at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City. 7:13 to go, first half. Iowa 12, Iowa State 10. John Quinn, the freshman quarterback, number 18 from Des Moines. And let's look at scores of other games, Sarah.
All right. Texas A&M 14, Virginia Tech 6. This is a ball game that has a lot of scoring. Penn State leading at halftime, 20-14 over Houston. Houston coming off that Monday night win. West Virginia 21, Maryland nothing.
That's hard to believe.
There's a surprise.
Second down and 8 now for Iowa State from the Iowa 49. Quinn looking, whistles blowing, flags thrown.
Motion on the play. I think the right tackle or right guard set up early on the pass.
And the rotation means illegal procedure or position. Gene Calhoun, and you've seen him referee a few games, Era.
He's worked a lot of the games that I coached in, clear back when I was at Northwestern and also at Notre Dame. He's a good official. He's a very fine referee.
Procedure, 5-yard call against Iowa State, bringing them back in their own territory, at their own 48. It'll be a second down and 13 now with 6:15 to go in the first half. And Iowa, the underdog, leads 12-10. Hardy, 29, set to the far side of the field. Hickson, the split end to the near side. Quinn.
Oh,
Loose ball. Iowa recovers. The second fumble recovery by the Hawkeyes, who are fired up for this fray today. Shanty Burks, number 49, as we look at it once more. What a game.
You see here on the replay that Iowa went into 5 defensive backs, and they still completed a pass. And here's the fumble right there. It comes out, and it's Iowa's ball.
And it was Dexter Green, of all people.
He's having a tough afternoon.
Okay, so now Iowa getting another opportunity at their own 40. First and 10. Bob Cummings, Jr., the quarterback. Slot formation, high in the backfield. Dennis Mosley, who went 77 yards in the first quarter for an Iowa touchdown. Number 18 carried on the play. Mark Settle on the tackle. Nebraska leading Alabama, Era, 17-14, second quarter.
Well, that too is a surprise after last week. Although they made a lot of yardage against Washington State, I'm talking about Nebraska, they made 460 yards and still lost the contest.
And they're playing at home in Lincoln. The Hawkeyes are here in Iowa City, their home field. They have a 2nd and 5 from the 45. Arkelpane was shaken up on that last play, so the 2 Iowa fullbacks are hurt. From the tailback position, Mosley carried.
It's really a versatile attack that Iowa uses. They use the wing T with a lot of double wing, a lot of slots, and here they are working out of the I.
Iowa State 2 turnovers. Iowa with 1. In at fullback is the 3rd one for Iowa, number 35, Dean McKillop. He's from Galesburg, Illinois.
On to 46. Excuse me, Chris, last week they lost 2 quarterbacks. Now they've lost 2 fullbacks before the half is over.
From the 46, 3rd and 4 for the freshman quarterback. Terrific move by Mosley. Let's see where the official puts it. Oh, boy. I don't know about that.
So his knee hit there? Or that's
well,
where
it
he's
must
marking?
have been. Anything other than the hand or foot touching.
Let's see if we can see it here. There's the option. He puts the move on. Oh, it's a tough one to see from that angle, but they moved the ball back. It's 4th down. I'm sure that they'll probably go for it. They went for it earlier at their own 33.
4th down, and they need, let's see, about the length of a football, really.
Arkelpane going back in.
Shook off that bruise, but unfortunately their starting fullback, John Lazar, still on the bench, having injured his left ankle. Time has been called by the Hawkeyes. John Lazar, starting fullback, being retaped, putting on the sock now, perhaps the football shoe. And that'll be good news for the Hawkeye fans who have a 2-point lead. 3:57 remaining era here in the first half.
Be interesting to see whether or not Iowa State gets into a goal line defense here to stop this fourth down play, or whether they'll play it conservatively. They're playing it conservatively.
From the T formation. First down by Earle Payne, number 15, the junior.
They elected not to go into a goal line defense. They stayed in their 5-2, playing it conservatively. They didn't want to take a chance, I don't think, on a long pass or run action pass.
Earle, we're going to have to keep stats on fourth down conversions instead of third down conversions. They are 2 for 2 on fourth downs, right? That's terrific. So the Hawkeyes with a 1st and 10 at the Iowa State 48. Spinning forward, sophomore Jesse Cook of Las Vegas, Nevada. Kevin Hart of the Cyclones, Kansas City native, on the tackle. Just received a medical report that Lazar sprained his left ankle, but expects to get back into the ball game.
Well, he's moving around down there on the sideline. I'm surprised. It looked like he was in pretty good pain.
It's almost the second game of the year. It is the second game, but it's almost the whole season for both teams, this rivalry. All right, 2nd down and 7 from the 45.
Reverse.
Cook had the door closed twice on him.
Looks like Arcaplane is down. No, I guess he's all right.
Tom Randall, that senior tackle for Iowa State, and Vulcans, the defensive end, made the stop at approximately the 45, where it'll be 3rd down and 7. Arcaplane, yes, holding his right arm now, coming to the sideline.
I thought
Brady is back in, and in the lineup comes number 30, John Thomas, a sophomore. He's the 4th fullback.
Right, and he's 232. He's a big one. 6'1", he's a sophomore.
The 4th Iowa fullback on a 3rd and 7. Knocked down by number 61, Ron Mclaughlin.
He had Jesse Cook open, too.
We'll have a 5-second pause as we look at the anguish and pain on the face of Arcaplane.
This is KMSP TV, Minneapolis and St. Paul.
All right, this time on 4th down with 7. The punter is Dave Holtzclaw. Tom Buck and Mike Schwartz are deep for Iowa State with 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Big fair catch signal, and it goes through the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Iowa State will have the ball. 1st and 10 at their own 20. And a lot of pain.
Arcaplane again. Golly, that's the 2 fullbacks have really been nicked in this game.
Saturday afternoon in the autumn in Iowa City here. We're looking at Coach Earl Bruce with the headset. A reminder that on Monday nights, ABC's season premiere of regular season NFL action, the 49ers of San Francisco versus the Steelers at Three Rivers Stadium. Don Meredith rejoins Cosell, Howard that is, and Gifford. Beautiful run. Finally by Dexter Green, as Iowa State fans expect that type of performance from this fine back.
Iowa, with a minute and 49 seconds left to go, more in a prevent type of defense, allowing some short yardage, but not permitting any long touchdown passes. They're really in what you would call, they have 5 linebackers in there.
Green, number 24. The deep back, 11 yards on the play, 1st and 10 from the 31.
Not this time.
Green again, number 75, first to hit him. That's John Hardy, a freshman from Sioux City, Iowa, 6'5", 240. Loss of a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. A minute 22. Clock stopped. First half, the Iowa band will perform. Iowa State as well. We'll have a Fireman's Fund flashback and some comments from Ara Parsegian, a winner. But no longer on the sideline. Now watching football from high above the stands. And aren't you glad, Earle?
And you can't help but look down there now with third down. I would just wonder what I would do, or rather second down, 11 yards to go, 1:22 left. Whether or not you want to take any heavy risk plays where it would risk a turnover and give your opponent an opportunity to either kick a field goal or not. You always think about those things when you look at the clock and your field position, which is so vital.
You're looking at Earl Bruce, a graduate of Ohio State, his 5th year at ISU. Replaced Johnny Majors after coaching at the University of Tampa. The Big 8 Coach of the Year last year, and deservedly so. Giving the freshman quarterback Quinn some advice. Quinn's daddy, it is listed, played for Miami of Ohio. You know about that school, Earle.
I sure do. It's a great spot.
2nd and 11 now for Iowa State. 1:22 remaining in the first half. Iowa leading 12-10. Dexter Green for 3 or 4 yards. Clock running.
Well, they're going the conservative route.
Iowa State with 2 timeouts left. Not using them. So it's a 3rd down now. A ball at the 33, 3rd down and 8. There you see the total yards in this quarter.
More like what I expected to begin with, I guess. The excitement of that first quarter was dramatic and unexpected.
3rd down and 8, 46 seconds to go.
He's got it. Oh.
And again, taking his eye off the ball, Tom Buck, but it did one thing, it stopped the clock. Yet they have 2 timeouts left. 41 seconds, first half, 12-10, Iowa leading.
Now they're forced into a punting situation. I think I would instruct my punter here at this point to kick the ball out of the bounds down the right sideline if he could, to avoid any punt return.
Okay.
Although he's got a great foot. Looks like they're going to rush it.
Rick Babalillo is doing the punting.
Well,
One man back.
It's a dandy, too.
Dave Becker has it. And Becker comes out to the 35. Iowa's timeouts. None remaining, but on the change of possession, the clock is stopped following the punt. So they have 31 seconds in which to, well, the least, control the ball before halftime.
Might see a home run throw here by Cummings.
Yes, I saw number 87 come into the ball game. Brad Reed, a sophomore from Marion, Iowa. Double wing. An interception with 24 seconds on the clock. 22. Kevin Hart intercepted for the Cyclones, number 7. And making the tackle was the man who threw it, Bob Cummings, Jr.
Well, there's the turnover that we talk about. There's 17 seconds left to go. Let's take a look at it again. Cummings runs a bootleg type pattern. He fakes a sweep to the left, comes out to the right, throws the ball. Really, that's probably the only time this half that he's used bad judgment in throwing the ball. His receiver was covered. And now Iowa State has the ball at the 42-yard line. A first down might lead to a field goal.
All right, from the 42. 42 of Iowa. Quinn
came out the wrong way, I think.
Shanty Burks on the tackle. And finally, they called one of the timeouts. One of the 2 remaining.
John Quinn had 2 guys out to the left, and I think he made a mistake and rolled out to his right.
We look at the head coach of the University of Iowa, an Iowa graduate. He's a native of Youngstown, Ohio. And his wife, Sharon, has had quite a time with the freshman starting today for Iowa, sustaining a groin or leg injury Thursday. And their younger son, Donnie, cracked his 6th vertebrae in a football game in high school action. So it's tough on Sharon and the coach.
Well, I've got to be awful proud of Bob Jr.'s performance here, at least in this first half, certainly. He's done a great job, I think. I think both of us, at least I do, have a tendency to forget that they're both freshmen with very little experience. And I think both John Quinn of Iowa State and Bob Cummings Jr. have performed remarkably for the lack of experience.
Hospitals and Clinics is the largest university-owned teaching hospital in the nation. Its new $18 million Roy J. Carver Pavilion will feature an emergency treatment center for airlifted patients. The university's 22,500 students enrolled in its 10 colleges come from all 99 counties in Iowa, all 50 states, and more than 70 foreign countries. Hawkeye athletic teams receive tremendous support from students, alumni, and fans throughout the state. The University of Iowa, now in its 131st year of teaching, research, and service to the people of Iowa and the world.
That's right, the University of Iowa. And we made a comment about Jan Stemmerman, the featured twirler. Take a look at that honey. So this is a tough battle. They've hit hard, a lot of aggressiveness. As Ray Hardy, 29, is on the far side. Buck is on the near side. The kick coming to Hardy at the 11, 15. Good blocking. 20, 25. Look out. 30, 35. Boy. 26-yard return, and making that saving tackle was number 94, Steve Wagner. Steve Wagner of Chicago.
He saved a long one there. It looked like he was cracking the seam there. And here's a replay of it. Here's the kickoff. Hardy fields the ball. The ball starts to come back because of the wind. Right here, he breaks to the outside. And it just saved. Oh, they got a penalty on it.
Yes, now a penalty being stepped off against the receiving team, Iowa State. Gene Calhoun of Wisconsin, the referee, bringing it back 15, and here's the signal. Personal foul called against Iowa State. Bring the ball back to the 23, their own, with a 1st and 25.
Big play because they had pretty good field position and the wind. Now they're back on their own 23-yard line. We have 3 penalties now for 25 yards.
All right, 41 coming to the near side of the field is Hickson. The quarterback is freshman John Quinn, number 18. Handing off to Dexter Green. And the Hawkeye defense was up to the situation. A marker down on the field. We'll wait and see.
I think it was a mask, I think.
Think it was a mask?
Yeah, I think from the sideline I saw the coaches, the Iowa State coaches immediately reacted over there, and that generally is the case. So they're going to get that 15 back.
Second down, about 20.
That's Kevin Cunningham, one of the captains of Iowa State, number 68, a senior from Chicago. Went to St. Leo.
A little misdirection play. Dexter gets the corner right there. And you'll see the reactions. Well, you can't quite see it there. The coaches immediately came down and reacted to that.
So a 15-yard penalty. Replaying the down now. Warming up is Tom Mclaughlin, who was injured last week. He is one of the 3 Iowa quarterbacks, but more than amply filling in the freshman, Bob Cummings Jr. Another freshman, Quinn, pitching out a loose ball. And
no, they didn't have possession of the ball. Iowa State retains it.
That's an elusive spear.
This is an option play that they came to the press box side here. Going to get a replay of it and take another look at it. You'll see that Iowa did not have possession of the ball. He fakes to the fullback. There he kicks the ball out. Dexter Green fumbles the ball. You'll see the ball bouncing. No one has possession before it goes out of bounds.
It's a tough thing to recover when that ball is bouncing, turning over, spinning.
It really is.
So now, with the ball way back at the 29 from the eye, it's a 2nd down and 20.
Got running room.
John Quinn getting a little sideline baptism here by Roger Steck of Perry, Iowa. We mentioned Cunningham of Chicago, and as this game is being shown in the Chicago area, both teams are a lot of players from Chicago. Fertile recruiting grounds for many teams there, including you when you were at Notre Dame.
And also look at those 2 lineups in there. Beyond Chicago, both coaches coming from Ohio at one time or another. You'll see a lot of Ohioans on the rosters out here. Illinois is a good football state. Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, the Midwest, Iowa. Great players come out of it.
All right, it's 3rd down and 14 now for Iowa State, trailing by 2 from their own 34. Quinn knocked down by number 92, Darrell Hobbs of Cedar Rapids, and is he happy? 6'6", 235. 4th down and 14.
One thing about Iowa, they're using a lot of personnel in here. Both front line and second line guys have got a lot of confidence in their defensive players.
Rick Babalil has punted 4 times, averaging 42.5 yards. Coming into the game, 46-yard average. 5th in the country. He has about a 10-mile-an-hour wind as it's decreased in velocity. Becker and Brady are
Oh, he just
got it off. Fair catch called for by Dave Becker. Iowa getting the ball now, 1st and 10 from their own 27, leading 12-10, 3rd quarter. 14:22 to go. Cook.
Oh, what a tackle.
Kevin Hart of Kansas City, Missouri. Talk about a crash on the artificial turf. Jesse Cook of Las Vegas, a sophomore, wingback. No gain, 2nd down and 10. No gain, but a few bruises.
That's the way you like your defensive secondary to come up there and really tackle. That's great football.
Rushing yards, Iowa 135, Iowa State only 25. Cummings to Dennis Mosley. Mosley in the 1st quarter went 77 yards with the ball for an Iowa touchdown as Wiedemann, number 89, made the stop at the 31. It's a gain of 4, so it'll be a 3rd down and 6.
Mosley's had it 7 times for 96 yards. Of course, that 77-yarder was a big key play.
Look who's back in the ball game, John Lazar, their number 1 fullback.
Well, let's see how he holds up with that ankle. One thing about Iowa, they have had positive yardage off of that option. They take to the fullback, and then the option executed by Cummings has been very successful all afternoon.
3rd down and 6. Cook going out. Number 91 is Jim Swift.
Depends on where they spot it. It's going to be close again, Chris.
Yes, he's the tight end from Des Moines. Coach Earl Bruce on the far sideline of Iowa State, really watching closely, talking to Gene Calhoun, and now they bring the stick in. There was a 3rd and 6 play. So they missed the 1st down as the punting unit comes in. Number 3, Dave Holtzclaw of Clinton, Iowa, who's kicked 5 times for about a 35-yard average, will this time kick into the wind, and he needs a good one to help protect the 2-point lead.
Well, he's kicked most of the afternoon. The times that he has punted has been into the wind.
4th down and the length of a football. Tom Buck and Mike Schwartz, are off to the right as the deep men for Iowa State. 12:37 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 12-10 the score. Iowa leading a high pass. Good block. He gets it off. And Tom Buck is hit on the button. Got possession and then shooting body predators. The Big 8, a close-knit family. One of their representatives, Iowa State with the ball. 1st and 10 from the 27, trailing by 2 points. Carrying the ball was Dexter Green.
Boy, he's having a tough afternoon. The Hawkeyes are really keen on him.
So from the 27, maybe he got, let's see, he got a yard to the 28, so it'll be 2nd down and 9. The Big 8 against the Big 10 era in the past 10 years has really been something. They have won 36 and lost only 8.
In the last decade.
All right, 2nd down and 9, Iowa State.
Oh, interference, and he threw the flag.
It was tipped by an Iowa player ahead of the play. First to hit it was Roger Steck.
I don't know whether the ball had been tipped before that or not.
It had been tipped before it, as I saw it.
Yeah. You know, last week, just to give you an idea how good this Dexter Green is, got over 1,000 yards last year, had 85 yards and 16 carries, and the Hawkeyes have stopped him to 17 yards and 14 carries today. Oh, there it is right there.
Interference call against the defense. A 1st down for Iowa State. They gained about 20 yards. 1st and 10. And Dexter Green carries for a yard. Boy, that'll bring about some controversy.
Well, I'm telling you, that Tom Rusk, number 47, has played a whale of a ball game. That dude is 6'2", 232, and he's making a tough afternoon for Dexter.
Yards rushing, Iowa State 25. Dennis Mosley, 96. Aided, of course, by a 77-yard run from scrimmage for an Iowa touchdown. So, there was no gain on the play. It is 2nd down and 10. Freshman John Quinn. Intended for Guy Preston, that 6'7" tight end from Ferguson, Missouri. There you get a look at his size.
Just off his fingertips there, he just overthrew him a shade. Made a good jump for it, but just out of his reach.
There is the head coach of the University of Iowa.
I've been through that scene before, Chris. I wore out more shoes on the sideline.
Third and 10 now. And did he pull it out of the air? An interception by a Hawkeye. It looks like number 31. Was it Joe Hufford, one of the linebackers? Well, it was difficult to see as so many Iowa players. Let's watch.
There's a replay. Wait, it's 9. I think it's Becker, isn't it? Dave Becker?
Right, that it is. Dave Becker pulls it down, and the man cheering was Hufford. How many?
Here's a replay on it. They take the tailback off tackle. And there, oh, he makes a super interception on that.
The 4th turnover now for Iowa State. Tough break. 1st and 10 from the 44 of Iowa. Quick handoff to John Lazar, the number 1 fullback, number 44. Era coming into a rivalry, a renewal. Have you ever seen so many things written about it, or so many statistics given about it?
As I mentioned earlier in the game, I thought I was coming to a national championship game. It is a state championship game, certainly, but boy, they're treating it out here like a national championship game. Everything was happening. My
first opportunity, I have one statistic that I thought was unusual, and I'll pass it along to everybody. But right now, let's watch the snap on a 2nd down and 8 from the 45. On a double wing formation, leading 12 to 10, freshman Bob Cummings calls signal. And the fullback, Lazar, brings it up near midfield. About 10 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. That statistic, the State Department of Health has determined that 2,201,000 babies have been born, while 1,149,000 persons have died in Iowa since the last game in 1934.
I'm just glad I'm not a part of that second statistic.
I'll tell you, their reproduction rate is pretty good in Iowa.
It's 2-1.
2-1. 3rd down and 4. From midfield, Iowa with the ball, leading 12-10, 3rd quarter. Good defensive work on Dennis Mosley by Ron Mclaughlin, the nose guard, number 61, and 64, and on the play, Tom Randall.
They're trying a little trap on the inside, but the Iowa State interior defense now is playing as they were expected to play.
Tacking a loss of about 2 yards on the play. It'll be a 4th down and 6, and Dave Holdsclaw will do the punting into a slight breeze.
Well, here's a dandy.
Fair catch called for by Tom Buck, number 25. And he learned a lesson from the previous kick reception, wisely calling for a fair catch. ABC's Wide World of Sports today features the World Lightweight Boxing Championship between Roberto Duran and Edwin Barut, live from Philadelphia, and the Women's National AAU Diving Championships from Woodlands, Texas. Howard Cosell on the boxing, Bill Fleming and Mickey King on the diving. Now Iowa State trailing by 2. 1st and 10 out of near their own 14. A beautifully timed hit by number 38, Roger Steck, the senior from Perry, on Guy Preston, the 6'7" tight end.
Oh, good defensive reaction and good coverage by Roger Steck. That ball was right on target, and his timing was perfect on it.
Quinn now has thrown 9 times, completed 2 for 24 yards.
Well, he actually has been on target for the most part, but the defense has been super on the part of the Hawkeyes.
Scores of other games coming up soon. Now for Iowa State, 8:49 to go, 3rd quarter, 2nd and 10 from the 14. And Dexter Green. Boy, they memorized his number this week.
He had more running room there than he's had all afternoon. He still only picked up about 3 or 4 yards.
Dean Moore coming in for the initial stop on the play. And there we have an injury. Number 75 in white. Tim Stonebrook of Buffalo Grove, Illinois, a sophomore. 6'7", 236. We'll try to get a report on Tim's condition as we look at a replay and see if we can watch the hit.
Dexter gets some pretty good running room in here. But still, the recovery of the Iowa team is really great. They're playing a super defensive game.
All right, 3rd down and 6 now for the Cyclones from their own 18. They have yet to convert on a 3rd down.
Keeping a lot of pressure on him.
And the record remains the same, 0 for 7. Darrell Hobbs putting the real pressure, forcing him out of bounds, bringing about a punt on 4th down. Back to punt now is Rick Blavalo of Chesterfield, Missouri. Becker and Brady are deep to the left. 10-mile-an-hour following wind now. Blavalo's kick is low, taking that forward bounce. Inside the 35 of the University of Iowa. 52-yard punt with 7:58 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Iowa leading Iowa State 12-10 as we look at scores of other games.
Clemson, there's a surprise, defeating Georgia 7-6. Unexpected. Although Clemson played a good game last week. Uh-oh, look at here, the 3rd period, Nebraska over Alabama 24-17.
So following the game, it'll be the Prudential College scoreboard with many, many scores. From the 32 now, Bob Cummings Jr., the quarterback.
The fullback wide open.
Lazar, John Lazar.
It's that same pass, Chris.
Herdicone making the stop.
He fakes a trap to the inside. The fullback slips into the flat. Misdirection action. Holds the linebackers, and the fullback's wide open.
Yet only 4 yards gained on the play.
Yeah, it was good support by the secondary.
Yes. 7 of 9 for 33 yards. Last week, when he came into the game, he was 5 of 8, 64 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Nothing big as far as the yardage is concerned, but he's been on target, and those are possession-type passes.
Cummings.
Wow.
Dennis Mosley caught in his own backfield by Mike Stensrud, number 63, for a loss. Back to the 34. It'll be a 3rd down and 7 for the Hawkeyes.
I'm glad I didn't have the ball that time. They were coming from all angles.
Mike Stensrud, who combined with McLaughlin last week for 28 tackles. Randall also in on that trio of interior defensive linemen that came up with a total of 28. It's remarkable. Now the freshman, Bob Cummings, Jr. 3rd and 7.
Little draw play.
Close, but doesn't appear to be enough. But remember, Iowa went on 4th down twice successfully. Arkelpane, the number 2 fullback, carried number 15, but it looks like head coach Bob Cummings Sr. is going to punt this time.
Yeah, he's got a 2-point lead. His defense is playing so well, you don't want to take any chances. Don't give him any opportunities. That's the way you think defensively.
Holdsclaw kicking beautifully. A fair catch called for by Tom Buck at his own 24. Trailing by 2. 6:06 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Dexter Green on fine ball handling by the freshman Quinn. Gets some yardage out of bounds by Mike Jackson on the far side. From the 25, he moves it out to the 35. Make it for 30. 2nd down and 5. There's Dexter Green, number 24. In the backfield with him, Cummins, 32. Hardy, 29. 41 Hickson is out of the lineup. Solomon in. Stepping out for a 1st down is Dexter Green, and Jackson again on the tackle for the Hawkeyes.
I think the demonstration of the move that Dexter Green put on there is reason to understand why he gained 1,000 yards last year. That wasn't any better block than some of the other plays, but he was able to read off of one of the defenders or the offensive blockers and pick up some positive yardage. He's still dangerous. He could go at any time.
Last week in the victory over Wichita State, Dexter Green didn't play the entire 2nd half, yet gained 85 yards in the 1st half. 1st and 10 from the 37. 32, Cal Cummins of Freeport, Iowa, senior carry.
He played last year, carried the ball 100 times for almost 400 yards. They haven't given him the ball much in this ball game.
When the snap comes, it'll be a 2nd and 6 as we pause 5 seconds for station identification.
This is KMSP TV, Minneapolis and St. Paul, your News 9 station.
2nd and 6, Quinn. Quinn gains 4 yards. Tom Rusk coming to the near sideline, forcing him out of bounds along with Rod Sears, number 19. Iowa 12, Iowa State 10. State quarterback Quinn. Into the lineup comes number 84. 28 goes out for Iowa State. Solomon is out. 84 is Mickey Leafblatt. 3rd and 2.
No way.
And there he is. 85, Dean Moore, and 43, Mike Jackson.
You know, Iowa has managed to keep Iowa State back in their own territory, and with the advantage of the wind, and there's only 3:40 left to go in this 3rd period where Iowa State will have the wind advantage.
They tacked a loss of 6. 4th down and 8 now from the Iowa State 40. Rick Blavelil kicking. Becker and Brady are deep. the University of Iowa. Excellent punt.
Zinger.
Becker at the 15. Becker brought down at the 20 following a 45-yard punt by Blavelil.
There's some kind of football player, that Russ.
So the Hawkeyes have the ball with 3:14 remaining in the third quarter, leading 12-10 after trailing 7-0 in the first quarter. With 3:52 to go, they have come back. The ball is just across the 20 of Iowa. What a competitor. Injured in the first half, John Lazar spinning his way for a first down.
Looks like he hurt his ankle again, Chris.
Wiedemann on the tackle. There he is, Lazar, being helped off. Second time today.
Wow.
Uh-oh. He needed 2, so that's not good.
Boy. And you can see how valuable he is at the ball, his first break, any kind of running break that they've had in there.
That was 13-yard gain, too, and he made it look easy with desire. From the 33, first down, double wing. Payne in the
leverage to the corner.
That was Mosley carrying. And number 96, Tom Bosky, the south side of Chicago, is idle Dick Butkus. There's Lazar of the University of Iowa.
You know, it's pretty understandable after watching the Hawkeye defense in this quarter. Of course, Iowa State has played well, too, but they registered their first shutout in 77 games last week, and a demonstration of their abilities has been witnessed here in the first 3 periods of this game.
2nd and 6. Payne. That's the substitute for Lazar. Second time he's had to come in and has played well.
Well, he only carried the ball 10 times last year. Didn't play much. But he's certainly getting a lot of action in this game.
Gained 3 yards, bringing up a 3rd down and 3. And remember, Payne was injured in the first half.
Yeah.
Second time Lazar, at whom we just looked, injured today. The 13th, 14th, 3rd down try. 3rd and 3. Not enough for the first down. Mosley trying for the yardage. And short of that forward stake is Mike Clemens in on the tackle along with 64, Tom Randall. That's a numbered name we've called often today.
Bobbled that ball just momentarily. Just enough to throw his timing off, or he might have gotten that additional yard.
Less than a minute remaining in the third quarter, so it means that Iowa still has to kick into the wind. They'll get the wind in the fourth quarter. Dave Holzclaw punting for the Hawks. Keeping it low. That is Buck. And after Buck scored the first touchdown, returning a kick 63 yards, they have really keyed on him on kick coverage.
Yeah, that was the only thing that he did. Of course, and that was pretty significant. They got a touchdown off of it, their only touchdown of the afternoon.
So now the ball is at the 35. On that exchange of punts, Iowa gained 5 yards. With the ball at the 35, Iowa State. First down, 44 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Iowa leads 12-10. Quinn to Cal Cummins. C-U-M-M-I-N-S from Freeport, Iowa, a senior. John Hardy, a freshman from Sioux City. And Tom Ruska, Jr. from Dubuque, in on the tackle.
You know, you're playing a game like this where you know that any kind of an error, because there's a separation of 2 points or less in the field goal, could put Iowa State ahead. You've got to be a little careful with it.
From the eye, 2nd down and 8 for Iowa State. Dexter Green. First hit by John Hardy and number.
Of course, Iowa is dominating the game in yardage. with the exception of that 77-yard run, 193 to 68. But the impressive thing is, I don't believe Iowa State had any yardage at all in the second or the third period, because the Iowa defense is just playing brilliantly. And the possession time is 24-54 to 20. Not a big difference, but this has settled down to a real defensive football game. They 21 yards for State in the third quarter.
All right, now for the Hawkeyes, leading by 2 with 14-17 left in the game. First and 10 from the 25. The starter, Bob Cummings, Jr. A loss of 5, a signal flag on the field by one of the officials as we look at, in the white cap, Gene Calhoun, the Big Ten referee.
Could be a holding call. That's generally what it is.
There it is. Those are the Iowa State fans cheering.
I wonder if they'll take the down, or they have 6 yards negative yardage. That's a, you want to give them a down. Take the down, and you would have 2nd and 16 or 1st and 25.
There was a comment by Earle Parsegian, sounding just like the great coach that he was, or that you are.
They're going to take the 15.
Okay.
Oh, it's a spot foul, though. It'll go back further, half the distance to the goal line now.
Wiedemann, who made a great tackle on that last play, and now the defense of Iowa State. As we look at Lazar being taped up once more, hoping to get back into the game. Talk about toughness.
Boy, he is tough. This is a position where, as a football coach, I recall on the sidelines, you got a 2-point lead. You're backed up on your own 10-yard line. You don't want to miss anything. Look at this.
First and 25 from the 10. And popping out of there was Lazar's replacement, Arkle Payne, number 15. Iowa now has been penalized 70 yards. Iowa State 25.
In this position with a score and in the fourth period, really Iowa State is on offense because of where the ball is. Any kind of mistake on the part of Iowa here could be disastrous, because the field goal kicker can put the ball through and put them in the lead if there is an error here. So they may be a little conservative down here.
Going to the far side now, number 88, Mike Brady. It's the left top of your screen, the split end. It's a 2nd and 19 from their own 16, Iowa. Looking for Brady. He was covered. Tom Randall forcing the issue.
Well, that Randall's had quite a football game, too. He's played exceptionally well.
And that loss is back to approximately the 8, a loss of 8, 3rd down and 27. This is pressure defense by the Cyclones. The Hawkeyes fullback, Lazar, getting ready. Ernie Sheeler back in the lineup, number 37, replacing Dennis Mosley, number 18. We have 12:43 to go. Iowa 12, Iowa State 10.
There, second
Earle, you
quarter.
feel better.
Yep.
Notre Dame 7, Mississippi 3 in the second quarter. Here in Iowa City, Bob Cummings Jr. calls for a little silence. Trying to break away was Jesse Cook. Out of bounds by Chris Volkins. Out of bounds across his own 10, bringing up a 4th down. And now with the wind to their back, they can only hope that Holdsclaw can really pop one.
Yes, they got the wind with them now. But look where he's got to kick that ball. He's standing about 4 yards into his own end zone. Good snap and good punt is important.
Snap coming from the 12.
Oh, he's got a good one. That's a good one.
That's right. Coming back to the 48.
Good coverage.
And the down buck is at the 45.
Excellent coverage.
So now, by virtue of a kick, this is the 3rd time that Iowa State in the game has been inside the midfield stripe in Iowa territory. 1st and 10 from the 45. Quinn. Nailed for a loss by one of the great defenders, Tom Rusk, number 47.
He's a super football player. He's been all over the field today.
6'2", 235.
And as Bob Cummings said yesterday, he could have been the top fullback in the conference, and he made the sacrifice to go to defense.
Era, he's only a junior.
Well, he'll be back. And Cummings will be happy to see him come back.
All right, second down and 13 now for the Iowa State Cyclones at the Iowa 48. Tom Buck is the split end to the near side of the field, number 25. Calling timeout, the quarterback, John Quinn. How many players do they have on the field? A mix-up. Let's see.
I think maybe, Chrissy, they were in a defense that Quinn didn't like. The play that was on, he sacrificed a timeout.
Are they coming?
Coming up immediately after the football game, join us for the Prudential College Scoreboard Show. And on Monday night, don't forget, Don Meredith rejoins Frank Gifford and Howard Cosell in the premiere of regular season NFL action Monday night. San Francisco 49ers against the Pittsburgh Steelers from Pittsburgh. 9 Eastern, 8 Central, and 6 Pacific time. John Lazar, the junior from Tama, Iowa, talking to one of the assistant coaches. 2 fine state universities, very effective athletic directors. Bump Elliott, athletic director of the University of Iowa. Lou McCullough of Iowa State University. Quinn now, coming back up to the line. It's second and 13 from the Iowa 48. John Quinn covering the bobble. Boy, is this a heated contest here in the fourth quarter with 10:51 to go in the game. 2 points separating these rivals.
I don't know whether the center snapped the ball early. It appeared to be so because Quinn didn't appear that he was ready to take the snap.
So it's third and 13. Mark Bain, number 56, is the offensive center now going over the ball for Iowa State. Behind him, number 18, John Quinn. Third and 13. Excellent secondary coverage by the Hawkeye defense. Tremendous. Yet saving 3 or 4 men to throw. Quinn for a loss. Jim Molini was in there first, and it brings the ball back into Iowa State territory at the 44.
They started at the Iowa 45, and they're backed up to their own 44, minus 11 on that period.
Rick Babalil, the punter.
They're going to have tough field position again.
Oh, bad mistake. I think they should have fielded it.
Yeah, it's one of those kicks that wasn't up in the air.
So with 9:50 remaining, University of Iowa gets the ball, leading by 2, 12 to 10. First and 10 following a punt, snapping it from their own 13. And Arkelpane, number 15, the fullback, carried for a couple of yards. There he is, getting up slowly. You see the time remaining. Ron McFarland and Chris Vulcans on the stop. A gain of 1. Second down and 9 for the Hawkeyes.
I think this hasn't been a defensive game in the second half. Iowa's only managed 24 yards, while Iowa State has managed 12.
And no score here in the second half. Last score came at 11:33 of the second quarter. A 42-yard field goal by Iowa State. Cummings and Mosley hemmed in. Kevin Hart defensively has had a great day for Iowa State. And again, looking at Lazar being taped.
Cummings was down momentarily. He really got hit just as he dealt the ball off. Now he's back in the huddle now.
Lost back to the 11. It'll be third down and 12. 8:42 left in the game. Iowa calling for a timeout here, reaching the midpoint of the final quarter. Bob Cummings Jr. going over to talk to his dad and his dad's assistants. A reminder that on Wide World of Sports, coming up later today, World Lightweight Championship fight. The champion, Roberto Duran of Panama, against Barut, the challenger. Remaining in the game following an Iowa timeout. It's 3rd and 12 for the Hawkeyes from the 11-yard line. Their own 11.
Draw.
Arkelpane, number 15, may have lost a yard on the play thanks to the defensive work of Tom Randall, number 64 of Iowa State. And again, they're going to have to punt from deep in their own territory. It'll be Dave Holtzclaw era, again kicking from his own end zone.
About the same spot, or maybe a little bit deeper than he did on the previous punt attempt.
Yeah, it's by 2 yards. The snap from about the 10 instead of the 12 as previously. Gets one out, a very fine kick at the 49. Tom Buck, fair catch. So the 4th time now that Iowa State has gotten the ball on a kick reception inside Iowa territory. They have yet to capitalize on an opportunity. We'll return with more action. Hawkeyes lead 12-10. Iowa State with the ball at the Iowa 49, 1st and 10. Quinn, the quarterback, hiding that ball and picking up 3 yards on the play. Number 25, Tom Buck, bringing in the play from head coach Earl Bruce. That's Cy, the Cyclone mascot for the folks from Ames. The ball at the 46. It'll be a 2nd down and 7. Buck, number 25, split to the near side. In the slot, John Solomon. Dexter Green.
Good call that time.
Getting the 1st down for the Cyclones.
Iowa was in a blitz situation anticipating a pass, and they had a great call on it.
Come into the hash mark on the far side of the field at about the 39. Mickey Leafblatt, 84, from Gurnee, Illinois, a junior, is in the lineup. At tight end, split end, Buck is to the right side of the field. Cal Cummins carrying on the play. And Tom Rusk on the tackle.
He's been in there all afternoon. This is the most yardage they've made, I think, since early in the 1st period.
And controlling the football. Clock running down to 6:44 now, remaining in the game. The team with the ball, trailing by 2. Buck now goes to the left. 2nd down and 5. Cummins carrying on the play for practically no yardage. So it'll be a 3rd down and 5. To 10, Iowa leading. But the Cyclones are inside the Iowa 35. And they have a field goal kicker, Scott Coleman, who kicked one into the same wind, a similar wind, 42 yards in the 2nd quarter. Dexter Green.
He's got it, 1st down. Same play as the one that he made the other 1st down on.
So now the Cyclones get closer. Dean Moore, number 85, forcing him out of bounds.
Dexter Green's up to 48 yards now on 21 carries. Just a shade over 2 points, 2 yards a carry.
Now with the ball at the 27, a 1st down for the Cyclones. I formation, a wing to the far near side. Keeping it on the ground, Cummings.
feel just a little moderate shift of momentum in this game here. Let's see, if they don't make a first down, he would have to kick about a 45-yard field goal. 47 yards. They're in field goal range, I think.
And now the wind kicking up as the weatherman predicted later in the afternoon here in Iowa City. Second down and 8 from the 25 for Iowa State. Dexter Green losing his footage for a loss of 3. 3rd and 11 coming up. Mike Jackson covering him after he slipped.
Another big down coming up.
Iowa State with many third down opportunities today.
Let's see whether or not Iowa elects to go to a blitz situation here. Yes, they are. They're coming after it. Look at 47, Rust over there along with...
Would you believe maybe a yard gain on that play, which brings up a 4th down and about 10. Let's see where the ball is spotted. A 27. They're at the Iowa 27 with a 4th down and 10.
49-yarder is what it needs into the wind. I don't know if he has that kind of range or not.
The spot for the holder, Kevin Hart, is the 34, plus the 10 of the end zone. Here's the side wheeler. It's up. It's on its way. It's short and to the right. 44 yards, no good. And the ball will come out to the 20 with 3:49 remaining on the clock here. Iowa Hawkeyes retaining a 12-10 lead, a tough break for the Cyclones.
Well, they rose to the occasion again when they were challenged. The defense stopped them, forced a long 44-yard field goal into the wind, and now they have possession at their own 20.
And the freshman quarterback, son of the coach, Bob Cummings Jr., has gone all the way, Earle.
And done a great job.
And our Chevrolet offensive and defensive players of the game will be announced at the conclusion. The defensive player is not so difficult to determine, but I'm going to let you choose the offensive player. Okay? Okay. Now from the 20. Cummings, number 10. Arkelpane is the fullback blocking. To no avail. Mark Settle penetrates for the Iowa State defense. 3:40 remaining in the game. Loss on the play. We'll call it the 17. It'll be second down and 13.
2 timeouts left for Iowa State. We'll see when they'll use them. They forced Iowa into a negative yardage situation again.
Tom Wren of Lowell, Iowa, comes into the lineup. Make it Lowell, Indiana, into the lineup. Second and 13. The ball is at the 17 of the Hawkeyes.
Got leverage.
That's Cook on the move, and he's nearly got away with it. Tripping him up was number 34, Mike Clemens of Chicago.
Boy, that
junior.
Came within an eyelash of being a long gainer. They had it well blocked. They had leverage at the corner. Great defensive play to save that from being a big play.
So it's third down and 8 now, Era.
Clock running.
Among the many stations carrying our game, having a banner overhead a while ago, WQAD Channel 8 in Moline, Illinois, covering much of Iowa. Art Swift, their manager, one of our fine affiliates. Third and 8 now, 2:23 left in the ball game.
Bob Cummings would love to see a first down here.
Straight T formation. Settle again with a key defensive play for the Iowa State defenders. And it was on the quarterback, number 10, Bob Cummings Jr. And now with 1:59 left in the game, Cummings, the quarterback, shaken up, aided off the field now. And it's another tough situation for number 3, the punter, Dave Holtzclaw. This time not as deep. Iowa State still has time as Buck is deep. 25 and 26, Mike Schwartz.
Good snap.
Oh, he
beauty.
Through with a beauty. Going way back to the 29. Tom Buck has it.
Good tackle.
Hit 4 times before he went down. That's the youngster that went for the first touchdown of 63 yards. That punt went 57 yards, and unfortunately Tom Buck is shaken up on the play. But remember, he was hit at least 4 different times on receiving that kick. That's guts.
It really is. What a timely punt for Iowa. It looks like Bob Cummings Jr. also was nicked on that last option play, 3rd down.
And he's feeling in there in the shoulder separation point. I noticed that.
My, that's all they need.
Remember, the Iowa State #1 quarterback sustained a complete shoulder separation a week ago against Wichita State. 1:25 to go following a 57-yard punt. Imagine. As we look at what was injured, the freshman quarterback for Iowa, number 10, Bob Cummings Jr. He can rest up now. The punt got off the foot beautifully of Holtzclaw, and now Iowa State, trailing by 2, have the ball first down at their own 26. And Stan Hickson is in the lineup to the near side of the field, and freshman Quinn has the ball. Losing it. Still loose. And number 75, John Hardy, that big freshman, finally brings it in after Dean Moore knocked it away.
Oh, look at this crowd and that team. Wow.
There he is, number 75. That credit must go to Dean Moore for making it all possible. Number 85 and Hardy, number 75 from Sioux City. Got the handle on the ball now with 1:12, and the University of Iowa Hawkeyes with a 2-point lead have the ball at the Iowa State 13. A big bad break for the Cyclones.
It really is, but the story of this ball game is the great defense that the Iowa team has played. They've yielded a total of 47 yards. 15 yards in the second half, and of course with that negative yardage on that last play, I would think it's probably 0 for the second half.
Only one play turned the tide following a Iowa 57-yard punt, and now the Hawkeyes have it back at the 13 of Iowa State, first down, leading by 2. Coming up to the 1-minute mark of this game, Arkelpane carrying. 2 seconds actually remaining on the clock, and calling a timeout, and wisely, the Iowa State Cyclones.
The Iowa's gained 3.7 yards per carry, while giving 1.54, and that's the story of the game defensively.
Don't go away. A lot yet to come from Iowa City. Second down and 10 now from the 13. Iowa leading by 2. 1:02 left in the game. Trying to run out the clock, preserving the ball. And what about our Chevrolet offensive and defensive players of the game, Earle?
Chris, the offensive player, we just like Dennis Mosley. He carried the ball 12 times for 93 yards. He did make the big play. That 77-yard run is a difference in this ball game. The play was really well defensed. It was a great cutback run on his part. So he wins the Offensive Player of the Game award. Defensively, and this certainly has been a defensive battle without any question on the part of both teams. And Tom Russ, 6'2", 232 pounds, the middle linebacker of the Iowa Hawkeyes, wins the award. A year ago, he had 71 solo tackles. In this ball game, he had 8 solo tackles and a number of assists.
And it's too bad we can't have a satellite award for this young freshman who quarterbacked all the way because he had to, because of injuries to 2 other quarterbacks, and he's done a very cool, calm 18-year-old job. He's going to be heard from. It's great.
Chris, I certainly would concur with that. I've been very much impressed with his performance. He made a lot of good decisions. He didn't give the ball away in this game. They will bleed the clock now.
Iowa State using all their timeouts, 3 in each half. We'd like to thank the Iowa State Athletic Director Lou McCullough, head coach Earl Bruce and his staff, and Tom Starr for their cooperation. Same to the University of Iowa folks. Athletic Director Bump Elliott, Coach Bob Cummings and his staff, and Sports Information Director George Wine for all of their help. And we enjoyed being back in Iowa, Era. I know you've brought teams in here, both Northwestern and Notre Dame.
But not with crowds like this. I'll tell you, this is some kind of ball game today. And what a defensive performance. Listen to this crowd.
There is Coach Earl Bruce, Coach of the Year in the Big 8 last year. Now with 12 seconds remaining. It is 3rd down. There's a delay of the game penalty. There's the illegal delay of the game penalty, 5 yards. Against the University of Iowa Hawkeyes, the underdogs coming into this game. They trailed 0-7. Came back to make it 7-6, missing on the extra point. Then went ahead 12-7 as they missed on the try for 2. And here is a 4th down and 21 with 12 seconds left in the game. Iowa State has run out of timeouts. Fourth down, stopping the clock. Change of possession now with 10 seconds, Era.
They got the ball back. I didn't think they would, but they did. Especially running that clock and the 5-yard penalty. But
Prudential College scoreboard coming up. And, of course, wide world of sports with the World Lightweight Championship fight, plus diving. Okay, going for broke is Quinn, trying to get to the sideline to Hickson. Hickson has it, but he couldn't get out of bounds. 2 seconds left. 1. The game is over, and the underdog has won it. 12-10. The battle of the Big 8 representative and the winners from the Big 10, Iowa. The final score, the University of Iowa Hawkeyes 12, Iowa State Cyclones 10. We'll be back. By the narrowest of margins, and the still feverish pitch here in this interstate rivalry era. Very dangerous thing, knocking down those uprights and carrying them into a crowd of people.
It is dangerous. They're excited, but I guess we knew from the offset it was going to be that kind of game.
12-10, Iowa winning it. The executive producer of NCAA football is Roone Arledge. Today's coverage of the Iowa State-Iowa game was produced by Doug Wilson, directed by Roger Goodman, technical director Dick Siley, associate director Howard Shapiro. This is Chris Schenkel along with Era Parsegian saying so long from Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City. Our thanks to Rick Bernstein and our spotter Bill Creel. Be sure to join us later today at 4 Central, 4:30 Mountain Time for ABC's Wide World of Sports, featuring the World Lightweight Championship, Roberto Duran versus Edwin Barut, live from Philadelphia Spectrum. Also the Women's National AAU Platform Diving Championship from Woodlands.